Well, hello everybody, welcome back, and American Lock Padlocks again. There are lots and lots of different models, but they are quite simple to understand once you get your head around it, so I thought I would show you what's what. Disclaimer to start with, I'm not an absolute expert. I don't know everything about these, and hopefully I'll get everything right that I'm doing today, but I'm sure somebody will tell me if I haven't. So we'll start off with the cores, because there are, in the majority of the pin tumbler locks, or the pin tumbler padlocks, which is what we're concentrating on, there are two cores, and they're called the APTC 12 and 14. So this here is an APTC 12 and it's a 14. The difference is the 12 is keyed up or pinned up with 5 chambers pinned up, and the 14 is got 6 chambers pinned up. So the only difference between the two cores are, if we can see that much tip on the key and a key pin, a driver pin and a spool. But otherwise they are identical. There's also an APTC 748, which is yet again, if you've seen this in the previous video, it's just a very slightly different shape on one part of the warding, but it is effectively the same same cylinder, and it only comes in the series 748. The other one they do have, which I don't know much about, is the W401, but that is purely in the safety lockout padlocks, and I've not got one of those and never seen one, so I don't know an awful lot about that. But I think that actually has longer pins and a few other bits and pieces to make them a bit more longer lasting. So, but initially we'll start off with the series as well. So effectively there are mainly 3 different series. There's the 1000 series, the 5000 series and the 700 series. So your 1000 series is your aluminium padlocks, such as the 1100s, the 13s. Your 5000 series are your steel bodied rectangular and your brass bodied rectangular padlocks, and your 700 series are your round body padlocks, and the 748 comes into it as well, but I think that's mainly because of the shackle on it is the same. Let's get this out of the way because we've seen that now. So we'll start off with the 1100s. So I'm not sure why, but if we can see on the back here, some of them have 1100 on them, some had 1105. Doesn't make any difference, the body is identical. But on an 1100 padlock there are 6 different versions of it. So what we have is 3 different shackle lengths. So we have a 1 inch, 1.5 inches and a 3 inch. And then you've got the option of 2 or 6 or 5 pin cores, and they each have a different number. So an 1105 is your short shackle with a 5 pin core, an 1165 short shackle and a 6 pin core, and then we go up. The last number, so an 1106 is a 5 pin core with a medium shackle, 1107 is the long shackle, or 1167 is 6 pins with long shackle. So if you can understand that, that effectively explains the way they all work, the whole series. But no matter which one you have, if you order an 1107, it will more than likely say 1105 on the back. If you order an 1167, it will say 1105 on the back. So the number on the back really just gives you the series, and not what the actual lock is. So that's where some of the confusions come in. I mean, a prime example is this one here, which is actually a 5570, it says on the back, but this is actually a 6570 because it came with the 6-pin core, 6-pin key, and on the box it comes in, it says 6570. If I just show you, there's the box, but they will all have 5570 on the back, so they don't basically change the numbers at all on the lock bodies. So when we come to the aluminium padlocks, we have the 1100s, then there's 1200s, which I don't have any of, and then the 1300s. So the differences being, if I just find the right page, yeah, so we have a 38mm wide body, the 1200 has a 44mm body, and the 1300s have a 50mm body. And if we go on to the other series, from there we then have the 5000 series, which are the steel and the brass, exactly the same dimensions, same sizes. So that is the 5100, identical thickness, width, height, same shackle sizes, and numbered similarly. If we look at the 5100, you've got the 6 options again, 3 different shackle heights, 2 different cores, any variation you want. I mean, here we have, these are 2 5260s. This one is an older one, which is why it's got it on the front. This is a newer one which has it on the back, but they still both say 5260, whereas this one is a 5260. This one here will be a excuse me, where are we? This one will actually be a 5262 because of the size of the shackle, but still just says 5260 on there. Exactly the same range in the brass. Similarly, in the 700 series, we have here, both say 700 on them, but this one is a 700 and this one is a 701, purely down to the shackle height. A few other little anomalies. We have things like the 748, there's puck locks, that sort of stuff, which I don't have, but they still all have the same cores in. We then get on to some of the other ones. These are classified as non-rekeyable. They are different sizes to the standards, and the difference is these have cores that are riveted in, but they still use the same cores. You can drill the rivets out and put screws in and play around with those. But we have a series 20, series 50, slightly different sizes, but very much along the lines of the rest of them. And I think that's about all there is, but you can understand there is confusion when people are spouting out different numbers, and the numbers on the locks don't say what they actually are, and this is why. But you can easily work out which ones are which. I mean, the other thing with the 5-pin cores, you can pin them up for a 6-pin lock without having to change the key, and basically what will happen is your key pin can ride on the tip. Let's grab some tweezers. So it can ride effectively on the tip of the key, if we can see that. Will we focus or not? There we go, I think. So to do that, it's normally a number 4 pin. That's what sits on there, but don't rely on it, because I have found in worn locks with a lot of use, that does start snagging up a number 4 pin. So anyway, I hope you all found this useful and got a bit more of an understanding about the differences between them. And thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.